What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome.
But like we promised, we said we were going to start filming some of our podcasts so people can actually see some of our reactions, descriptions, and all that.
It would have been nice if you would have given me more of an hour notice before telling me that we were going to be filming our podcast today, but it's okay. I'm not going to hold a grudge against you.
I actually forgot. So, yeah, turn the mic, baby. I actually forgot. And then Revolt came and said, hey, we're coming to your house to tape. And I was like, oh, shit, I got to tell Gia. And I was like, yeah, can we tape today? She was like, no, I got to get my hair done. I'm like, please? She was like, no, this is still the same braids from vacation, so I have to get my hair done. I was like, well, they're on their way.
No, actually, you said, well, put on a hat.
I did say put on a hat.
So I'm supposed to put on a fitted over cornrows?
Yes.
I don't think that really play out too well.
Yeah, but, well, you did your hair. It looks good. There's nothing wrong with it.
Listen, it is what it is. It looks good. It looks bad. It looks all right. Whatever.
And let me tell the people out there, November 3rd, I want y'all to know, November 3rd, I'm having my first car show. And I'm super duper excited about this. Now, the car show is going down in New Jersey, Secaucus, New Jersey. It's 6-7 hours of family fun. So I want you to come on out. I want you to get tickets. I want you to bring the family. Kids under 5 are free. So it's eventbrite.com. Search DJ Envy and it'll pop right up. Over 150 cars, celebrity cars, 50 Cent's bringing his cars, Swiss Beats, Fabulous.
Some performances.
Yeah, performances as well. So come on out. We're going to have jumpies for kids. We're going to have face painting.
Stilt walkers if I have my way.
Gia wants stilt walkers. I've never seen a stilt walker at a car show, but
it's a KC Crew car show.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So stilt walkers, Gia.
Mimes.
I
want some mimes.
Gia will be there. The kids will be there. Mm-hmm. It'll be a lot of fun. So, tickets right now are $20. I think at the end of the week, they go up and then they're more at the door. So right now, tickets are only $20. I'm just trying to keep it affordable and very fun for everybody out there.
It's going to be a family day.
And we're doing it, and Gia is actually designing some of this. So it went from being very cheap to very expensive. Gia started wanting red carpets, red velvet ropes. And Gia asked for a VIP section. I've never seen a VIP section in a car show, but Gia wants a VIP section. She was like, if I'm going to be here for 2-3 hours, I want the option to buy bottles and chill in the section and just relax. I'm like,
I think that there are people that will show up, plan on being there for a few hours, maybe not just an hour. They might want to be able to sit down, relax, have a little drinky poo, and chill out with their family or the people that they came with. I think that we should offer that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can get that going. So
it's going to be dope.
Again,
I got my fingers in it.
Get your tickets, eventbrite.com, or you could click the link in my bio and then pick up some tickets. We're going to have a lot of fun. Like I said, the whole family will be there. Even little Brookie will be there. Right?
Brookie will be there.
Brookie will be there. She's the star of the show.
We're jumping on hoods and stuff, but...
All right, she messing my car.
I got some ideas. It's going to be dope.
All right. So let's start off the show with what we've been doing. I mean, we haven't really been telling people. So let's get into it.
You said we haven't really. We haven't been telling people.
Well, let me tell them
what
first
we're doing. And there's a reason.
The guy's outside cutting grass right now as we were doing this podcast. So if you hear a little humming noise, he's out there cutting the grass. I told him how long he was going to be. He said like 10 minutes. So you might hear hum
so if you
for
hear
10
a
minutes.
humming noise.
If you hear light humming noise.
That's what it is.
Because homie is out there.
We're at our home.
Yeah.
This is the bar in our home.
So I see it sounds like homie's getting a little closer. But anyway, if you don't know, we have been trying to have a 6th baby. And all the other babies came very easy and very fast. I mean, I shoot Gia's club up. 9 months later, she's pregnant.
I mean, that's usually how it works.
Yeah, I mean, but it's been that easy. It's my pullout game is weak. But for this last baby, we haven't been able to conceive, and quickly. We don't know why. So we decided to go to a doctor.
Well, originally I went to my gynecologist, and I said, you know what? We've been having sex frequently,
right?
Like we usually do, and deliberately around the time that I should be ovulating.
Correct.
And for some reason, I haven't gotten pregnant. With every other baby, we got pregnant immediately.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Like, for instance, London and Jackson were both conceived exactly a year apart at the iHeart Music Festival.
Correct.
In Vegas.
Right.
Because I'm very regular, and I was ovulating at the same time each year.
Right.
And we knew it.
We were
planning both of those babies and got pregnant the first time out the gate.
Absolutely.
Easy breezy. And all the other kids, easy breezy. Boom, boom, boom. This time, literally, I don't know if you guys remember. I'm sure a lot of you remember. There was a podcast where Rashawn hit me upside the head with, I want to have another baby.
Correct.
And there was no pillow talk about it days before. It was like a new notion to me, a new idea. And we pretty much hashed it out with you guys on the podcast.
Right.
So literally, I don't remember how long ago that was. Maybe 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, something like that. I said yes. And since that week, literally, we've been trying to have a baby.
Right.
And nothing.
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 Not even a nothing.
I went to see my gynecologist, and she said, realistically, every other pregnancy that you've gotten pregnant so easily kind of went against the odds. It's not as easy to get pregnant as you've been experiencing in the past.
Correct.
She said there could be a number of reasons. I'm not going to run through the list, but there could be a number of reasons. So she said, the first thing that I want to do is have you checked out. Let's check everything and make sure that everything is working properly for you and Rashawn.
Right.
And if so, we're going to kind of put a little juju on it and make this pregnancy happen.
So they always want to blame it on the guy. They always say the guy's sperm is fucked up. So they had to check my sperm first, right? Mm-hmm. So now
Wait, did they check yours first?
They checked mine first.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I was kind of nervous because when I take long flights, like I'm gonna tell you some real shit. When I take long flights, I take edibles, the candy edibles,
Right.
and it puts me to sleep fast, like high to sleep. So they say that when you take weed or edibles, it kills your sperm. So I was like, damn, my sperm is.
I don't know if that's true.
That's what they say.
It's a rumor.
That's
right?
that's what they say. So now, all right, I had to go give them a test. So to give them a test, you pretty much have to wank off in a cup. And it's the most embarrassing thing ever. So, you
Set the mood.
You schedule an appointment. And I didn't schedule an appointment because I didn't want them to know I was coming.
You didn't want them to know you was coming?
Not like that. But
they
you know
knew
what I
you
meant.
were coming.
Not like that. I didn't want them to know.
They knew you were coming.
Because people know who I am in that area. So I didn't want to say, okay, Envy's coming to give the sperm. Like, so I just.
So you didn't want them waiting outside the door for you with cameras and iPhones?
Well, not a camera and iPhones, but I felt uncomfortable. So I just popped up, and there's a jerk off room. Right? It's the weirdest thing. So if you could imagine a jerk off room, they got a room, and they got a couch, a chair, and they got porn on the TV.
Right.
Right.
And you had options.
Well, no, I didn't have options because when I got there was 3 people ahead of me. So now there's 3 guys sitting there with a cup in their hand, right? And it's just so awkward and so uncomfortable, right? So the guy was like, the doctor, whatever he was, the physician or nurse or whatever, he was like, it's going to be a little bit of time. So I'm like, it just felt nasty. Like one guy wanks off in the room, then they clean the room, then another guy wanks off in the room, then they clean the room, then another guy. So I said, I said, yo, just give me the cup. He's like, all right, what you going to do? I said, yo, I'm just going to go in the bathroom. So I went into this it's a hospital, so it's a sterile, nasty bathroom.
It's not a hospital. It's a
doctor's office.
It's like a doctor's office /
but kind of like a hospital too. Yeah, I guess.
It's more of a doctor's office.
So it's a sterile,
like white
tile room. So
yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna I got a stash of naked pictures of you on my phone. So it's like, yo, I'm gonna open up the stash of naked pictures. But what happens is it's actually on the iCloud. So you have no service down there because it's like the bottom floor, so there's no service.
Wait.
I erased them since there. Don't worry about it. I erased them since
iCloud?
Yeah.
That means it's like...
No, I erased it. Don't
out
worry
there,
about it.
no?
It was, but I erased it. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to watch some porn. But I just told you there's no service. So now they have magazines in the bathroom. But there's no chair or nothing. So now I got to sit there and try to wank off.
Nobody.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I got to sit there and try to wank off. And when I say I busted the littlest amount of nut ever.
Just enough for the sample.
It was so disrespectful. And I had to work for it because they don't. And I'm just telling you out there, so fellas, if you ever have to do this, you can't use lotion. Like my go-to lotion is Aveeno. Shout out to Aveeno out there. Aveeno works, right? But they don't give you oil. They don't give you baby oil. Baby oil works too. But they give you some. It's
mineral oil.
It's mineral oil. Now mineral oil don't work for shit. It absorbs on your penis immediately. So it's like. It was bad.
It's like a jerk off manual.
It was.
Right
I'm
now.
just telling. I'm telling the guys out there. So if they ever have to
Aveeno
go,
is great.
They know what
However,
to do.
on the other hand,
they give you this nasty mineral oil that you're out there jerking for like. It took me like a long time. And I'm not gonna lie, I was doing everything. I was rubbing my nipples. I was imagining all types of stuff. Rubbing. I could not. And then when I finally come, I looked in the cup and it was so little. I was like, oh man.
Did you feel like a failure?
I did feel like a failure.
Well, all the other men that go into the room have options. There's like Chinese porn.
Oh, let me tell them. So that one. So I handed that cup in. They checked it, and it worked. Right, no problem. And they said my sperm was good. I had to go back to give another sperm sample. So this time I decided to wait. So now this time I got into the room. Now you could tell who's in the room, right? Because it's nothing but like black dudes destroying white girls. It was like, let's say there was 12 porns.
Wait, is that the thing that BBD?
No, BBC.
What's BBC?
Big black cock. Not big black dick, big black cock.
Excuse the hell out of me.
Yeah, like,
I'm sorry, that's not in my Rolodex of fantasies.
all right. So anyway, so it was like 8 of them was like BBCs, like big black guys knocking out white girls, right? 2 of them was.
So that means, hold on, let's just put this in perspective. That means that the guys that are going in there to wank off are watching BBCs hit off Caucasian women.
Right.
That's their fantasy.
That's a thing.
I mean, I would have thought that maybe it was a fantasy that white women might.
No. That's a thing. Like a lot of white men.
I wouldn't think that white men would be watching.
That's a thing. They like white men like to have big black dudes knock off their women. Like that's a thing.
Sidebar. Can I just draw a connection? Kind of like what Major Hype said on the live podcast.
Yes, that's a thing.
That the guy gave him $1,500 to watch him have sex with his wife.
I think it's called hot wife. Like people like that. Yes, they like big black cocks to knock off their women. Like white men like that. They like it's a thing. But
apparently.
So that was so now
that was one of the selections.
That was 8 of the selections.
Go ahead. What else?
2 of the selections was Asian, like Asian massages, and then wanky, and then
wanky.
One of them was MILF, like a white woman with big titties.
You told me one of them was like stepbrother, stepsister.
Stepbrother, stepsister. Yeah. And there was one Latino one, and that was it. Oh, and one ebony girl. There was one ebony girl and one Latino one. And the reason I know is I went through all of them because I was trying to set the mood for myself.
Right.
So I tried to. So it was a little more difficult. It was easier because I just went through all. I was going through all of them, like hitting the thing. So whoever touched that remote control after me, it got a slimy remote control. But I was able to. Let me tell you this, man. And this. So now, right, with this one.
Why are you so nasty?
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you.
Slimy remote control.
It was a slimy remote. So this one. I had. This is TMI, but I had to do it in the cup, right? Not open the cup. So I'm going to the cup. I was going so hard so I could get so much. I swear to God, I almost had a heart attack. After I nut, my chest started hurting, and my chest been hurting ever since. I swear.
Okay, don't swear because I don't believe you.
No, I swear. Like I nut. I heard a story that a guy can nut so hard that he has a heart attack, and I thought.
You hear a lot of stories. I'm just letting you know. Like you hear a lot of stories.
It's true. And I nutted, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And I was like, this would be the death of me. I'll die. And they'd be like, Envy was nutting off, wanking off, and died wanking off. Like, that's
But hold on. Is that a good thing? Or like it was so good that...
Your hand was so good that you died?
No, that like
if it was
sped up your heartbeat so much.
That your hand did it, right? If it was vagina, then that's some dope shit.
But regardless of what was causing the friction, it felt good. No,
but if I died in your vagina, that's one of the things. Like, yo, my vagina was so good, I killed this.
Okay, we're not talking about bragging rights. I'm just talking about how it felt. No. So are you saying that was a good thing? Like,
oh no, it wasn't good. I think I strained so much, I almost had a heart attack.
The way that you describe it makes me feel like your wee wee was raw.
It might have been done. But anyway, I got the come out.
Okay, was it more than the first sample?
Way more, yeah. It was way more. It was shitload more.
Because you weren't standing up in a white sterile bathroom?
I think so. But the good thing about it, my sperm was good.
Your sperm was good.
My sperm was good. So
Your sperm was good.
So it wasn't me.
You produced, I think, double the average amount of good sperm. Good sperm meaning sperm that swims straight, because there are sperm that swim to the left or swim to the right.
All you weed smokers, your sperms
swim to the left.
Swims crooked.
Then there are some that don't swim at all. they separate the debris. They call it debris from the good swimmers. So they pull out all of the good swimmers and they separate the debris, and then they keep that as the sample. So what we decided to do, there was 2 options. We could have done intrauterine insemination, which is otherwise known as IUI, or we could have done in vitro. And we sat on that decision for a couple of months.
Oh, you did. I didn't. I would, because in vitro costs money.
I mean, so does intrauterine insemination.
Right, but that's why we sat on it for a couple months, because I figured if I keep nutting in you, something got to catch before we got to pay.
Yeah, so he kept trying. He's like, when are you ovulating? Go get a kit. You got a kit? Did you pee on the stick? Are you ovulating? Because he kept wanting to do it naturally. Now, here's the thing. Could we have gotten pregnant naturally? Yes. I just didn't want to wait. It's not as though there was a problem with his sperm.
My sperm was good money.
You want to hammer that home, right?
My sperm was good money.
And there was nothing wrong with my body.
Your eggs was good money.
They did a test where they shot dye into my vaginal canal and then into my uterus.
And this is a male doctor that does that. We got to have a conversation about that. Like,
I love my doctor.
Trying to think, how do I feel about a male doctor all in the vagina like that? Like, because that's kind of weird.
I need you to give me a break.
If I had a female doctor, her face was in my crotch, you wouldn't care?
I wouldn't care.
Right, but she had to smell my
I don't
ass
care.
or something.
I wouldn't care.
All right, go ahead.
And she would care. She had to smell your ass, but if you want to do it, it's up to you. But they shot dye into my fallopian tubes to see if there was any blockages or any problems, and they monitor it. So it was a whole procedure. So both of us had to be tested, and there was nothing wrong.
Right.
Everything physiologically was just as it should be.
Everything was good.
So it kind of just, I guess, laid in the realm of chances and percentages of pregnancy. And to be honest, we're older than we were when we first conceived. So that plays a role most of the time.
Correct.
So everything wound up being okay. So anyway, we had 2 choices: intrauterine insemination or in vitro. Now, yes, they both cost money.
Right. One is way more than the other.
One's way more
and
than the other.
Insurance don't cover. I just want to let y'all know. Insurance does not cover that.
Well, you can't say that. Our insurance
don't cover it.
Doesn't cover infertility.
DJ insurance sucks, so it don't cover nothing.
Some people's insurance, I know
you only
women.
get 1 cavity a year. You get another cavity, you're on your own. Okay.
I know some women that went through in vitro and their insurance either covered it completely or covered a part of it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But ours doesn't cover anything. So everything was out of pocket. So yes, you were playing cheap for a minute, but intrauterine insemination is a lot less. So basically what that is they take his sperm.
The good sperm. So they go through my sperm.
The good sperm,
that
the one
big
without the debris.
pound of sperm that I gave them. They go through and get the healthy sperm.
The good swimmers.
Right.
They hold that, and then they give me drugs. Those drugs in the form of pills for intrauterine insemination, in the form of pills, causes me to produce more eggs, or it should.
Correct.
So it's 5 pills that you take 5 days leading up to when you're supposed to ovulate. And it's supposed to produce more than 1 egg.
Right.
For me, I still produced 1 egg.
1 egg.
And the reason is because usually people might go through 1 or 2, 3, 4 cycles of this before they get pregnant. So they use the first cycle kind of as like a test cycle to see how many of those pills you would need to produce more eggs.
Right.
Now, according to my doctor, I probably would have taken 2 pills a day, and that would have produced 2 eggs.
Right.
Which would mean that when they inseminated me, and I'll explain a little bit more about that.
Hold on 1 second, because the guy's right near the front door right now. Like, he's playing with me right now. Like, he's like, I'm going to stay by this front door.
You guys hear our landscapers?
I can hear the landscaper. Like, he's right there by the front door. Like, you can't be blowing the front door for that long, man. It's like he wants to see him peek. I ain't naked.
I think they can hear.
All right, now you can go.
Just pardon him for a moment. Okay. What was I saying?
You were saying you got the turkey baster.
It's not a friggin' turkey. I need you to stop referring to it as a turkey baster.
All right, go ahead. They put the turkey baster in
No. So I'm supposed to produce, say, more than 1 egg.
Correct.
So they determined that I would probably take 2 pills a day, meaning 10 that would cause me to have maybe 2 eggs by the time that I ovulate.
And we're telling you all this stuff because I know a lot of women are having fertility problems, and people are having fertility problems, want kids, and don't know what to do, don't know the process. So since we've been through it, or we're going through it, we are explaining it. Okay.
And also, sidebar, usually for most women and for all of our pregnancies, we didn't let anyone know, not even our parents or anything, that we were pregnant until 3 months after the pregnancy.
Right.
Because usually that's kind of like the safe zone. That's the point where you feel comfortable knowing that your pregnancy is sustaining and the baby will come to full term.
Correct.
This time, we don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to take you along the journey because that's really what this podcast is about.
Absolutely.
So you'll know it as we know it. So anyway, if I were to have taken the 10 pills that apparently my body would have needed, I could have ended up with 2 eggs. And then when they inseminated me with the sperm that Rashawn provided, there's a chance that we could wind up with twins.
Right.
But I only produced 1 egg because apparently the drugs weren't strong enough.
Right.
So I went in. And they inseminated me. Basically, they put his sperm in a syringe.
A turkey baster.
In a syringe.
A turkey baster. Go ahead.
Type thing connected to a catheter. And they allow it to travel up your vaginal canal, through your cervix, into like your uterine cavity, if you will. And then they dispense the sperm. And then all that the sperm has to do, all the good swimmers have to do, is travel up the fallopian tubes and find the egg.
Correct.
Now, prior to that, I get a shot that I have to give myself that Rashawn wouldn't give me.
Hell no.
He flat out told me no.
Hell.
So Irma had to give me a shot in my stomach.
Yeah, could you imagine a shot in your stomach? Like that's like
It wasn't that bad.
I give you a shot in your arm. I give you a shot in your ass, but in the stomach. Oh my God, I couldn't even watch it.
And that shot was to bring on ovulation. So you go in every day almost leading up to when you're supposed to be ovulating. They're taking your blood, they're doing an ultrasound, and they want to pinpoint exactly when you're supposed to be ovulating. They give you a trigger shot. It sends you into ovulation. They kind of test you. You go in at the appropriate time, and then they inseminate you.
Correct.
So that was right before we went to Miami.
Correct.
For vacation. So the whole time, like, we're sitting there on pins and needles, like, are we pregnant? Are we pregnant? Are we pregnant? So today is the day that my doctor told me, if you don't have your period by the 22nd, which is today, we're taping this on Tuesday. It's going to come out tomorrow and Wednesday.
Right.
If you don't have it by the 22nd, come in on the 23rd for a pregnancy test.
Correct.
So
we'll see what happens.
But I'm going to be real with you. I think that I'm pregnant.
Oh boy.
And and I could be wrong. I could be coming back to you next week like, yeah, it was all in my head. But when I have my period, like, my period's very, very light. Easy breezy.
Correct.
It only lasts about maybe 2.5 days. I never get any cramps or anything, and it's very, very light. So, and it's been like that my entire life. So when I do get my period, there's only one sign. There's only one indicator. And it's a strange little feeling that I feel in my uterus. It's not pain. It's not tugging. It's just a strange feeling. That's the best way I can explain it. And about 2 hours after I feel that feeling, I get my period every single month. So a few days ago, I started feeling that feeling. But typically, I only feel it once. I was feeling it day after day after day. Not consistently, but maybe once or twice a day, I'm getting that sensation. So I said to myself, that should mean that something's going on, because
Correct.
That's not a feeling that I usually feel. So something's going on in my uterus. I don't know if it's good or bad, but something's going on in there. So I Googled it. I said, basically in the search bar, I said, does uterine feelings, 8 to 10 days after blah, 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 indicate pregnancy? And all these articles and information came up. And basically, there's something called implantation cramps. Basically, if the egg is fertilized, once it's fertilized, it travels to the uterus, and then the egg pretty much buries itself into the uterine wall to protect itself, and like that's its cozy spot.
Right.
And I was having this feeling, which I think for maybe some women is conveyed as cramps. For me, it's not a cramp. It's just a feeling. And I was feeling that. So for me, I think that maybe I'm pregnant.
But we'll see. I mean, I hope
We'll
so.
see tomorrow.
I hope so.
We'll see tomorrow.
And if not, I'll just keep shooting the club up some more until we figure it out.
Yeah. So I'm a little worried because one of the podcasts quite some time ago, we told you that we had a miscarriage right before Brookie.
Uh-huh.
And sometime before that, I was pregnant. I took a test. It showed that I was pregnant. And then when I went to my doctor the following week, it showed that I wasn't.
Right.
Come to find out, that's called a chemical pregnancy. It's pretty much you get pregnant, but then the fertilized egg isn't viable.
Mm-hmm.
So it pretty much eliminates itself. So even if the pregnancy test does come back positive tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and he was on me last night basically saying I shouldn't feel this way, but I kind of don't want to get my hopes up.
No, I see.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
the
I don't
problem.
want to get, even if I do end up
You
pregnant.
got to think positive.
Of
Think positive.
course I want to think positively, but I'm thinking, what if it's not a viable pregnancy? What if it eliminates itself? What if we go 9 weeks like we did with the other pregnancy and
Look, he's right by the door again.
I know.
He's right by
Can
the
we
door.
ignore him?
All right, I'm sorry.
He's
go
going to
ahead.
go away.
Okay,
You
go
can
ahead.
relax. They understand.
Okay, go ahead.
And what if, we go 9 weeks and I miscarry?
Right.
So
Then we try again.
there really is something to waiting a little bit of time before you share the news with friends, family, for us, you guys. But we're doing it anyway.
Right.
So
They're
there you have
They're
it.
taking the journey with us. So hopefully, if you
And-
guys are taking the journey, you understand and you don't have to be embarrassed. And it is what it is. It's the game of life.
And the reason is because, we really feel as though a lot of women go through infertility or difficulty conceiving. So we just want to make sure that we share our life experience, our truth with you guys so that, not only to provide information, but to provide comfort to know that other people are going through the same thing that you might be going through.
Absolutely. So wish us the best of luck, and then hopefully we give you some good updates next week.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get to the email of the week. Okay. All right. Is he a coward? Should I be with him? That is the headline I was going to say. Hello, DJ Envy and Gia. I would like to be anonymous. I absolutely love your podcast. It gives me so much life inspiration and parenting tips for my 5-year-old. Well, let's get right to it. I've been dating a guy since November 2017. He has 2 children, both girls 10 and 11. He was married 5 years and newly single when I met him. He was damaged, broken, and had so much baggage. He didn't have a job, a car, or a place to live. Well, I have my own business and working on a second, so I would say I'm doing pretty well. I have a house and a car. He and I talked for months before we actually hung out, and in about 4 months, I fell in love with him. He was a wonderful man and a wonderful father, just in a tough situation that I was willing to help him out of. Well, months went by. Things have been good. We have amazing sex life, amazing chemistry, and have the same goals as far as family. He wants marriage again, and I want to be married. The other day, I picked him up from his job that is 45 minutes away from where I live. Then I take him to his second job, then pick him back up and take him home every day. This particular day, he wants to be picked up from his daughter's mom's house. I told him I did not feel comfortable because she's still bitter and angry, and I don't want to be put in a situation that will cause drama or potentially be attacked physically. He kept insisting everything would be fine. Well, we get to her house, we wait, and he was looking so nervous. She finally pulls up, she parks, and I see her walking towards my car. So I cracked the window. I'm not a fool. She asked me if I was a Uber driver or was I dating him. Now, I knew her from 7th grade. We went to school together briefly, and I hadn't seen her since. At one point, we were social media friends, but I didn't like her energy. I can't stand women that tell it all on social media. So I unfriended her 4 years ago. We were never friends in real life, never even associates. I just knew of her in school. So anyways, after that, she walked away, told me good luck, and walked back to him arguing and saying he was a liar. Apparently, he told her I was the Uber driver because he said he was scared she would not give him the kids. I felt so disrespected, and I felt like he was a coward. I broke things off with him because I told him before even getting his kids, if this causes drama, I'm done with you. I feel like he should have known better, and he was being a coward. He's now begging me to forgive him, saying relationships aren't easy and he wants to marry me and marriage isn't easy. Said we should be able to get over this. I don't think I want to deal with this type of drama in my life. I'm so confused. I love him so much and could see myself with him for the rest of my life. But to see him demonstrate such a coward move turned me off completely. Sorry for the long email, but I know Gia loves detail and I'm a specific person too.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Hope to hear from you soon. Let me go first.
If you wish.
All right. I don't necessarily think he's a coward. See, I think this is the situation, right? I'm gonna tell you. He wants his kids. Obviously, he's done with this girl. He wanted to prove to his new girl that I have nothing going on with this girl, so come with me to the house to pick her up.
That's not true.
Why?
If he wanted to prove to her that he had nothing going on with his ex, then he wouldn't have identified her as the Uber driver.
No, he wanted to show his new girl that he had nothing going on with the ex.
How would she know if she doesn't know what happened inside the house unless she was introduced as the girlfriend?
I didn't want to introduce you right away.
He could have knocked his ex off in the house and came out and got into the Uber. What would that have proved to his girlfriend?
He was just showing, he was showing his new girl. Nothing. This is where my old girl lives. I'm picking up my kids. As you can see, this bitch is crazy. I'm getting the kids in the car and we leaving. So you can see that there's nothing. You can see.
So that wasn't the plan. That
I bet
bitch
that was
is
the plan.
crazy wasn't part of the plan.
I'm sure that was the plan. I'm sure the plan was you can see that me and her are not a thing. I'm just getting my kids and we're leaving.
She can't see anything if she's sitting in the car.
No, they both pulled up.
Witnessing from afar.
They said they both pulled up.
What do you mean they both pulled up?
She said she pulled up and walked over and asked, "Are you the Uber driver?"
Right. What opportunity did she have to witness anything? You're saying that he did this to prove something.
Yeah,
he proved nothing but for the fact that he does not want to introduce her to his ex.
You got to think about it. For who
she is.
You got to think about it, right? I got a crazy ex, right? Listening, right?
Hold on.
Just listen.
No, wait.
Close your eyes,
I'm
listen.
not talking about whether he should have or shouldn't have. All I'm talking about is your point to say that he had her pick him up from his ex's house to prove.
No. She drove her. The new girl drove him to the ex's house to pick up the kids.
Whichever way. You said that he did that to prove that he's not proving anything to her.
He would have.
How? What would that be
All
proving?
right, for instance, all right, if I'm with a new girlfriend and I'm coming here to pick up my kids and I'm telling my new girl, come with me to pick up my kids. And she's like, no, I don't want to go because I don't want no problems. And I'm like, nah, I'm really not with her. Come on. So I'm telling her to come on while I pick up the kids. I'm coming out to go get the kids, right? Now I'm telling my old girl, that's the Uber driver, because I don't want her to wild out and be like, oh, you got a new girl, I'm not giving you my kids anymore. So that's the game he tried to play. He tried to tell his old girl that's the Uber driver, his new girl, whatever it was, and keep it moving. He didn't expect his old girl to come into his new girl.
I'm talking about your point where you said that he did that to prove to his new girl that there's nothing with the ex-girl. That proves nothing, because if she's an Uber driver or she's being introduced as such or taken as such, that proves nothing to her. He would be proving something to her if he introduced one to the other. You understand?
So you can't introduce one to the other.
I didn't say whether you can or not. I'm talking about your point where you say that he did that to prove to her. No, he did that because he needed the ride.
No.
And he wanted to avoid any problems by introducing her, or
he didn't want to
the default.
But he wanted her to see.
Her default title being the Uber driver.
All right. For instance, let's say I have an ex, right? And I'm like, look, my ex is crazy, but I'm really not messing with her. I really want to take it on to another level with you. I want you to come with me. I just want you to come with me. Now, I want you to come with me because I want you to see me and her interact so you can see it's nothing spicy. It's nothing going on. I want you to see that I don't give a fuck about this bitch, that I'm just here to pick up my kids and I'm out of here.
If you don't give a bleep about that B, then you'll introduce me as your girlfriend.
But I have to give a fuck about that bleep because if I don't, she can stop me from seeing my kids.
No.
Yes.
No. You're talking. See, that goes into
guys understand.
That goes into a whole other thing.
No.
You know, a woman doesn't
crazy.
just have the power.
Yes, they do.
To stop you from seeing your kids.
Absolutely, they do.
You might have to go through a long, treacherous road.
It could take years.
But they can't just up and stop you.
Yes, they can
unless there's something wrong with your parenting.
No.
A judge doesn't just yank visitation
it takes time.
from a father.
No, it takes time.
Unless it can be proved that you're not fit as a father.
That's not true. If I want to see my kids, let's say me and you.
She can make it difficult.
Let's say me and you get a divorce tomorrow, right? And I want to see my kids and you want to be an ass. It's like, no, you're not seeing the kids. I have to go to court to try to see that kid.
Yes.
And that can take years.
I think that's an exaggeration.
Because you could postpone court dates. It happens to men all the time.
No. The process can take years, but that's usually taking into consideration that the wife, the mother of the child, whatever she was, is telling the courts, telling the judge that you're not fit as a father.
Absolutely. That could be there. That could be a lie.
But it's a whole convoluted situation that creates the situation that you're talking about.
Could take time,
right now, we're just talking about your girlfriend bringing you to pick up your kids.
But he doesn't want to go through that process.
You're just turning it into this whole big thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And
because I'm a man, and that's how men think.
I do think that it's cowardly. I feel like you pull up your bootstraps, you tell your ex what it is, and you deal with the fallout. You don't sit here throwing around lies and making up a whole situation.
The fallout is I don't see my kids for a year.
It can get to that. We don't know.
I don't want to get to that.
We don't know. And it doesn't happen like that. You're making it sound so simple.
It can. She could close the door and say, never come back to this house. If you want to come back to this house, go to the court. And then that could take time. Happens all the time. It can take
time, but I'm not saying that it would take a year. But I'm just saying that. So, okay. So what does a man that is not a coward do? A man that's not a coward would say, so-and-so, this is my new girlfriend, so-and-so. I just wanted to introduce you so that you know who might be around the children.
A man is not a coward.
Hold on a second. If the ex-girlfriend handles it badly and does what you're saying, then he goes down that road. But at the least, he's not being a coward and having to lie to his ex and hide his new girlfriend and go through life like he can't live his life the way he wants to live because of what she might do.
Yes.
Who wants to live like that?
Nobody. But women are crazy.
If I'm a guy, I'm gonna want to be a man, tell her what it is, and she's gonna have to deal with it. And if she chooses to not go with God and give me an adverse reaction and not let me see my kids and go through the courts and drag me down this treacherous road that I was talking about before, then I would just have to deal with it. I would have to deal with it. But I'm not going to be sitting there letting this other woman run my life, rule my life, tell me what I can and can't do. I can't even have a girlfriend. I got to lie to you and tell you that my girlfriend's an Uber driver. I'm 11 and a half years old.
Girls be scorned. And so you know what he should have did? You know what's not a coward?
I like men that are men.
He should have said.
Do you know what I mean?
He should have said, babe, let me borrow your car. I'm going to get my kids. That's what he should have said.
I mean, if he wanted to avoid this whole scenario,
avoid the whole situation,
then he could have gone that route.
My baby mom is crazy. If she sees
that's
you,
all well and good. There's no problem with that.
Spice it up. Or you be like, yo, so you know my baby mom hating. So you sit your pretty ass right here. Let me go get the kids and I'll be right back.
I mean, however he would have gone about it, it could have been a good idea to just leave her out of the scenario altogether so that he wouldn't have to lie in the chance that one approached the other. That would have been smart. But being that one did, he should have just been truthful about it. That's the Uber driver out there. What are you, 11 and a half? Like, you can't tell your truth that you have the right to be living? Like, you have the right to live that truth. Like, that's your girlfriend. That's your ex. You have the right to do whatever you want to do without being fearful of what she's going to do to be vindictive towards you.
Right.
You have that right. So I think that it was a bit cowardly. And I think that it also could have been a bad decision. I don't know that I think that if I loved a man, that I would let that ruin the whole relationship. But I do understand where she's coming from because I like a man's man. Like, I like a man that does manly things. I don't like a man that does boyish things. It is such a turnoff for me, so as you know well.
What's a boyish thing? Like, what's boyish things? Before we get up out of here, what is boyish, quote unquote, boyish things?
To me, if you're grown and you don't stand on your own 2 feet, and I'm not talking about.
I'll give an example.
I'm not. This is an example. I like a man who stands for who he is and what he believes in. I like a man that's honest. I like a man that's loyal. I don't like a man that cowers and has to hide behind things or that has to hide behind lies to live their life comfortably. You should be comfortable doing what you have to do and what's appropriate to live your life the right way.
Okay.
And if you don't, then I look at you as a boy, because that's what boys do. Boys lie. Boys aren't loyal. Boys hide. Boys don't feel good being themselves. They don't feel comfortable being themselves. Like you're trying to put something out there. You're trying to put a front. You're trying to put out a facade. If you're putting out a facade, then to me, you're a boy. Men don't do that. Like when I think of a man, I think of like my father.
Okay.
Like my father wasn't a liar. My father was a protector. He was a provider. He was an honest, upright person that had integrity. And to me, that's mannish. Boyish is the opposite.
Okay. So when I think of woman, I think of massage feet, massage my back at night, cook my food, make me a drink. That's what a woman is.
Hold on a minute. Is that really what you... Let's just look me in the eye. Is that what you believe?
That's a woman.
Because we're about to get into something right now.
I didn't say
and
you.
I'm just saying.
So
I'm not a woman?
I didn't say nothing. It's got nothing to do with you.
You're not talking about me? So I'm not a woman?
You want me to stand on my own
I'm not a
2
woman?
feet? You want me to be real all day long? You want me
Yes,
to
I
do
do want
this,
you
that,
to be
and the
real all day long. It shouldn't even be an option to not be real all day long.
Well, shorty, go make me
I
a
don't like
steak.
people that lie.
Go shorty, go make me a steak then.
So hold on a minute. So for you... Now, you might just want to clarify yourself before we get into this.
I'm joking. Come on, man.
Unnecessary conversation.
See, now if I was lying, if I was telling the truth, I would lie right now because I don't want to go down that
because
road.
you'd be a boy.
I'd be a boy.
You'd be a boy about it.
I'd be a boy all day long to avoid that argument.
But that's what I feel that is the beginning of what encompasses a man. Of course, there's other things, but it starts with that. What do you think encompasses a woman?
Well,
honestly,
first of all, I mean, also when you talk about a man, you got to talk about my man Dingo.
Stop it.
If you're gonna talk man, you
no,
got to talk man.
because I think that there are men that have little willies and they're still just as manly, and I'm sure that they're still, and I'm sure they're still as sexy.
That ain't
because
that ain't this family.
Sexy comes with personality and charm and charisma and who you are as a person. It doesn't just come down to what you're throwing out there as the obvious.
I mean, I think some of the characteristics. What I say? Characteristics.
I don't know what I think you mean characteristics.
What is it? Character. What?
You said categories and then you changed it to categoristics.
You know what I mean? Damn it.
Okay.
Now it's similar to what you said. I think for a woman, I think first and foremost is loyal. You want a woman that's loyal. That's a woman. You want a woman that's honest. You want a woman that's truthful. Honest and truthful are the same. Stop trying to get your adjectives in there. Tell me what you think. I think honest. And stop biting off of my answer. No, I mean, but you went first, so I mean, that's what I can do. I think smart, honest. I think loyal. I think sexy. That's a woman. So if you're not sexy, you're not a woman. I'm just gonna withdraw the question. I think honesty and loyalty is 1 and 2 for me. You're having a hard time with this. I mean, those are the main ones for me. I mean, you want an honest woman and you want a loyal woman. Those 2 things can go over anything. So that's what you think encompasses a woman? That's real woman, honesty, loyalty, and God. Those are the 3 things that encompass a woman for me. Like when I look at you, I think of an honest woman, I think of a loyal woman, I think of a God-fearing woman, and then everything else is beautiful, smart. Okay, but what I'm saying is I don't know that those other things are necessary. Like beauty isn't necessary. Do you know what I mean? Right, but when it comes to you, I mean the 2 features that outside of those things are named is honesty and loyal and God-fearing. I mean, the fact that you're loyal, and when I mean loyal is, you can smack me in the face, but if somebody else smacks me in the face, you wild out. You know what I mean? Not to say you smack me in the face, but that's... Never smacked him in the face. Back of the head a couple of times, but not the face. But those are the type of things that I feel like encompass a woman, and that's what I want. I want somebody that's going to be honest with me regardless of what goes on in this world, and also loyal to me no matter what goes on in this world. Those are the 2 most important things. I mean, looks always fade. Beauty fades. I mean, don't wish that on me. I didn't say I don't want that to happen. I didn't say that. Okay. You said always. I'm going to try to defy that. I didn't say that. You just got your booty back, so I'm excited about that. Wait, it went somewhere? Oh, you mean after the detox? After the detox, you just got your booty back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're about to go do some back shots right now. No, we're not. So continue. But those are the 2 things that are really, really, what I admire like about a good woman. Exactly. Okay, well, thank you. So let's bring it back full circle. Okay. So you don't feel, even given everything that I said, you don't feel that makes him a coward? I don't think it makes him
Man,
a
that was a
coward.
cowardly move.
I don't
Okay,
think it
can we
makes him a
say
coward.
this? Can
See,
we
but-
say?
and I tell you-
Hold
let
on,
me tell you-
hold
let me
on,
tell you
hold
why I
on.
don't
No, no,
think
no,
it
no,
makes
no,
him
no.
a
Hold on, hold on.
Go ahead.
Can we say that it was a cowardly mood, but it doesn't necessarily
Make him a coward.
make him a full-blown coward?
I agree with that. So because you don't know what he was thinking. He might have been thinking, I
I think
want
we
to.
know what he was thinking.
I was thinking, I want to make sure I can see my kids, and he was trying to fuck the situation so he can see his kids. And yeah, it was a cowardly move, but it doesn't make him a coward. People do cowardly things sometimes. That doesn't make them a coward.
So we can both agree that it was a bad decision.
Absolutely, it was a bad decision.
That, given this experience,
Right.
maybe he can learn from it and make better decisions in the future.
Absolutely.
So, do you think that she should take him back?
Yeah, I think she should give him a shot, give him a chance. I mean, it's about his kids. I mean, people do anything for their kids. They'll lie, they'll steal, they'll cheat, they'll do things that they necessarily shouldn't do for their kids, and that's something that he did. And I say give the man another shot.
I agree. So, Anonymous, we know where you're coming from.
Right.
But if he's as amazing as you
say he is. Right.
And you've been willing to go all the way out of your way to drop him off, pick him up, drop him off, pick him up, and go through all of this, and you said that your love life is good, and obviously you enjoy his company, then maybe he's worth a second chance.
Absolutely.
That's our opinion.
All right.
Okay.
All right, it's time to get up out of here. I'm hot, too. I don't know why we didn't turn the air conditioner on in here, but it's hot as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Revolt for recording this. Ty, we
Hey,
appreciate
guys.
you guys. And it's time to get up out of here, man. So we'll see you next week. Don't forget, November 3rd is the car show. Hopefully we get to see you guys. The whole family
How
will
can
be
they
there.
get tickets?
You can go to eventbrite.com, search DJ Envy, or go to my Instagram page and click on the link, and you can definitely get your tickets that way. They're $20. At the end of this week, it won't be $20 anymore, so get your tickets right now. Hopefully, I can't wait to see you guys, and we'll see you next week, all right?
Yes.
And you know what I want to talk about next week?
What do you want to talk about next
A lot of
week?
people hit me about the girl that called the radio station and was contemplating suicide.
Okay.
I get a lot of people in my DMs that have
Wanted
those
to know
thoughts.
what happened.
Well, not even
with
know,
her?
even know what happened with her, but just has those thoughts and don't know how to get out of that mind frame, and it's very difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people are dealing with stress and not having jobs and not having enough money and can't pay for bills and having bad relationships, and they just don't know what to do and how to get out. So I just want to talk to them about me feeling that dark and how I got out of that situation, how you helped me get out of that situation. So I want to talk about that next week.
Okay.
And maybe we'll
sounds
get
good.
the girl on the phone, too, because I still speak to her every other day just to check up on her, make sure she's good.
Okay.
And she would
good.
love to do that. All right, well, I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And that was another edition of the Casey Crew.
Toodles.